In this video, we're going to talk about how small services businesses or consultancies or small agencies can grow and scale and really improve their profit margins with the use of no-code apps. Now, make sure you stick around until the end because we're also going to talk about a white paper we put together that actually breaks down all the different costs you can expect to incur when you are building, launching, growing a no-code app of your own. And so that's going to be really helpful for you as you move forward. So stick around for that. But we're going to be going through how you as a small business or how small businesses can use no-code apps to really improve their infrastructure, their whole business in its entirety, and also their profit margins, which is really, really important. Now, first, if you're new around here, my name is Kristen, and I'm the co-founder of Coaching No Code Apps, where we help business owners and industry experts build custom apps to either start their app-based businesses or grow their existing businesses, all without coding and no technical background required. So I'm going to jump over to our whiteboard here, and we're going to go through this. And I'm actually going to talk about how we ourselves have used no-code apps to help grow and scale our own business while keeping a small team size, but increasing our capacity, growing, scaling our business, helping more customers, serving more clients, all of these different things. I'm going to talk about how we've used no-code apps to do that successfully in the framework that we follow ourselves, and also what that kind of looks like. So first here we have kind of a pyramid on the screen with three different levels or layers. And this is kind of how we have set up our business and how you could too. Now, at the bottom here, we have our systems. Now, our systems are essentially what create the entire framework of our business. These are the things that do the heavy lifting for us. They remove lots of tedious manual processes. They remove lots of error. They remove the need for different types of employees or contractors. They help our business run efficiently. Systems are our apps. There are different applications. Now, we primarily at the hub use Bubble. We've built our entire website on Bubble. We've built our entire student login portal and dashboard for our courses and some of our content. We've built that on Bubble. Everything kind of revolves around Bubble. There are lots of systems within the apps that we've created. We've even created an entire client management portal of our own for our specific private program where we work with entrepreneurs. So we've created all of these different systems. And these are essentially, again, they're applications. They're things that run in the background that we've set up to cater to our business specifically to help it run without just having to spend a ton more money on outsourcing things or on bringing different employees on board or whatever it may be. Now, the really big thing to understand here with the systems is that we're going about creating these systems in a couple of different ways. So number one, we are creating custom systems. So like I said, our website, our student portal where we host all of our training content for our standalone course, our client management portal, all of these things are custom. They're custom to our content, to our students, to our clients, to our needs. We've been able to build these things based on exactly what we needed. We didn't have to go anywhere else to find those. And in fact, we tried to. We tried to find different platforms and services that would give us exactly what we need, and we couldn't really. So we were able to build these things and not have to compromise, not have to jump through any hoops or whatever to accomplish what we needed. So one aspect of that are the custom systems. Now, the other aspect are the out of the box systems. Now, these are third-party services that we also use, and these are different applications as well. They're just ones that we have integrated with our overall hub, which we've built on Bubble. So these are things like our booking system. We use Calendly. We used to use Acuity. So different scheduling apps. Now, why do we use these versus building our own? Well, because we don't really need something that robust or that complex when it comes to scheduling. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So instead, we just use a really simple service and we integrate it with our existing app that we've created custom. Okay, so we are just kind of extending into using a third-party service just to make our systems run better, to make it easier on us. The same thing is true with our payment gateway, for example, our payment processor. So we use lots of different apps. The questionnaire, the application forms people fill out to schedule strategy calls with us. Using Zoom, for example, lots of different things. We use all of these systems to do the heavy lifting for us. Some of them are custom, but then some of them are out of the box, but we kind of mesh those together. We integrate everything so that it works together. So when something happens within our app itself, so within our custom app, well, we have integrations set up so that those things or those actions trigger things to happen in the third-party services we use. So everything talks to the other services, the other platforms, all these things are all connected. These are our systems, and they create the entire framework of our business. And again, without these, we would not have been able to scale to the level that we have with such a small team. There's just no way. But by having these systems, we've been able to grow our business in lots of different ways that most people can't, because maybe they haven't found the no-code app world yet, or maybe like most small businesses, they don't have the hundreds of thousands of dollars that they've been quoted by traditional development agencies to build what they need, right? So they feel like they're limited. Well, these systems make it so that we're not limited. Now, on top of our systems, this is what we add: our processes. Now, this is looking at more of the business side of things. So we're kind of stepping away from the apps a little bit. We have the apps there to support everything else. But what we layer on directly on top of those systems are our processes. And these are kind of like our SOPs, or our standard operating procedures. So basically, how do we internally run things on top of the applications? Right now, again, this is less technical, more business focused, but you have to have different processes in place in order for things to run in a really cohesive way. So what we've done specifically is, we identify the outcome that we want to achieve. Now, this is usually, since so much of the business is client facing, customer facing, well, this is usually tied to a client result. A result that we want to help clients achieve, or a result that we want to help students achieve. So we identify the result that we need to achieve, and then we figure out the absolute best way to achieve that result. Now, this involves some trial and error, some testing, creating a product or service or something like that, or a way of doing something, a process, and then seeing how well it produces that result that we're after. And then just figuring out different ways to do it better and better and better and better. Now, once we've identified the best way to do it, that becomes the process. That becomes the way you do things. Now, the reason why we do this, and we take sort of like a scientist approach to our business where everything is an experiment, is because once you can figure out what works in the absolute best way possible, when you create a process around it, then that result or that outcome that you want becomes repeatable. So you can produce it over and over and over again for lots and lots and lots of people. And that's what we want, because then that allows people to come in and experience the same really great experience every time, again and again. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because, number one, I know that a lot of you are business owners. You might be thinking about your own business here, but you can also think about this in the way it relates to your app, because your app, in kind of taking a step back and looking at this from a bigger picture point of view, your app really is a process. Your app is a process, and it achieves an outcome, or it enables users to achieve an outcome rather. And so you should be looking at your app in the exact same way. What outcome do you want to produce? Now figure out how to produce it. That's the app, right? Those are the features of your app, the different functionality that it has. And now, once you've been able to produce this outcome, how do you do it better and better and better and better? Right? Okay, so you can kind of think of that in the same way. So back to our business framework here, right? We have those systems, all the apps, the platform, the different third-party services that support everything. Those do the heavy lifting. And we have our processes. Now, when you have these things, when you have the framework, the processes, what you can do is you can add your expertise on top. Now, this is one of my favorite parts because, when you create this type of a framework within your business, you are essentially you're removing yourself from all of these inner workings. You are no longer the one who has to make sure that all the tech stuff runs, or you're no longer the one who has to do all the tedious manual processes. You don't have to go in and micromanage all of these little operations within your business. You're removing yourself from all of these things, and that's what helps your business run much more seamlessly and in a much more scalable way. And when you do that, when you have the systems and you add on the processes, well, those enable you to essentially just deliver your expertise in a really easy way, in a really streamlined way. You kind of tack that on top of it because you're coming into this with your own expertise, your own industry knowledge. You are sort of packaging that up into an application. And you can take this framework and you can look at it as a way to grow and scale your business with apps, or you can kind of even look at it as how you would kind of create the foundation of your app, or your app-based business rather, in general, right? You have the underlying systems, you add the processes on top, and those are really just what help you package up all of that knowledge and all of that expertise you have and deliver it in a really streamlined and scalable way. And so this is how we use no-code apps within our business to help it grow and scale in a really efficient way. And this is how lots of our clients are doing it as well. A lot of our clients, they are business owners themselves. And what they currently do is either they manage all of those systems in really manual ways, and there's lots of human error involved. There's lots of outsourcing. There's a higher need for more employees, more contractors. So their expenses naturally are just a lot higher. Their waste is a lot higher in terms of time, in terms of resources, and all of this. So naturally, and by default, their profit margins reduce, they shrink, and it doesn't result in a very scalable business. But you can change that. You can eliminate all of these tedious manual processes, or even if you are using software, even if you've taken that first step to eliminating those and you are paying for software to use, well, that still involves lots of tedious manual work because you're connecting all of these things. Maybe they aren't very seamless. Maybe they're not created for your business. And so you're compromising a lot. That's what we had done in the past. That's what a lot of our clients had been doing in the past. They're compromising because they're paying for different software solutions that, they're kind of for them, but not really. And so not only are they compromising, but they're spending a ton of money on these tools. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars per year. And so a lot of them, are saying, I don't want to do that anymore. I actually want to scale my business. I actually want to have a growing business that doesn't require me to do all the heavy lifting in terms of all those underlying operations, the framework. And so they build their own custom app to help run their business, or they build different types of apps. Like I talked about how we've done. We have this hub. This is what we call the framework of our entire business that we've built custom to our business. And we just add on third-party services. We connect with that hub as we need. It's business changing and it's life changing, because as a business owner, you know how much of your time and effort and energy goes into managing something like that. And to be able to just step away and to know, okay, the heavy lifting is now done for me. Now I can actually focus on delivering my expertise. That's not just business changing, but that really is life changing. So that's how you can really change your business with no code apps. When you're coming into this, you found the no code space and it's an idea right now, maybe, or maybe it's something that you're looking into and really considering, is it really going to work for you? The reality is it can work for you very well. It has worked so well for us. It's given us so much flexibility. It's so much opportunity to grow in different ways. And it's done the same for our clients, and it really can change your business. So I definitely encourage you to move forward and to see how you can create a more scalable business for yourself without having to hire a traditional development agency, without having to even outsource at all if you don't want to. One of the really big benefits to using no code apps versus just having an app or multiple apps that help run your business is that you don't have to pay number one, you don't have to pay the hundreds of thousands of dollars to get these apps built in the first place. But then you don't have to pay the tens of thousands of dollars over the lifetime of your business in order to manage these apps or update these apps, right? When you're building your own internal systems for your business with no code apps, you are the one who's able to manage it. You can manage and grow and iterate and update as you need. That's what we've done. That's what our clients are doing. And that's one of our big goals for them too, is to enable them to actually be able to manage it. Because one of the really hard parts of implementing something like this into your business, it's the ongoing costs, because you can't just look at the initial cost of, okay, let me build my MVP for whatever business operation I want. You can't just look at that. You have to look at all of the other costs that go beyond that. And if you're planning to keep, these systems within your business, well, then that's going to be a recurring cost for the lifetime of your business. So one of the things that you need to think about is the fact that you can now manage your own internal systems. You don't have to outsource. You don't have to go through the process of finding new developers constantly, trying to onboard them onto your systems, and having all of this sort of convoluted mess behind the scenes. You don't have to do that. You can manage it. Or if you don't want to manage it, well, you understand it, because if you're the one building it, then you know how it works. So you can bring a developer in-house if you want, and you can train them. You don't have to find someone who can figure it out for you and try to pick up the pieces where the last developer left off. You can just bring them on board and carry on. There's just so much opportunity and so much flexibility. So hopefully that is helpful for you if you're considering creating something like this for your own business. Now, at the beginning, I mentioned a white paper that we have put together, and it outlines tons of different possible costs that you could incur when you're heading down the path of building a no-code application. Now, there are different paths you can take to build your own no-code app, or to build the infrastructure of your business, really. You can still, even in the no-code space, you can still outsource. You can go the complete DIY route and build it entirely on your own, or you can get help. This is, we run a 12-week program called Built to Scale, and this is where we work side by side with entrepreneurs who are creating their apps. So they don't have to outsource, which means they can be in control, but they don't have to do it on their own either. So you can go lots of different paths, and this white paper walks you through the pros and the cons to each of these, what you can expect in terms of the processes, what you can expect in terms of cost, not only initial cost with the first version or your MVP, but also what costs are you going to experience throughout the first year when you're in your growth phases, or what about when you're in your maintenance phases. So it covers all of that. There's a ton of great information for you to look forward and consider as you are thinking about putting these types of systems in place for your own business, or at least for you to have on hand if you've already started doing so. So I'm going to add a link in the description below where you can grab that. It'll be super helpful for you. So make sure you check out that link below. And thanks so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you in the next one.